3, 2, 1, clap. I've got the clap.
It wasn't the best clap in the world. But
No, that would do. Like fucking. That was the worst clap ever. It was like 3 slightly retarded seals. Right, so we'll just go quiet and then you just get started, yeah? Hello and welcome to the AI Box Podcast. I'm Chazzy and with me today is Dan Clark. How you doing, Dan?
I'm doing good, thank you, man. How about yourself?
Yeah, not too brilliant with the old voice. A bit croaky at the moment because I've been on the rock band all weekend and singing away. And I think I've blown my voice out, mate, to be perfectly honest.
I see a little silhouette over...
I would do that, but it'll go, hey, awkward little man. So it's properly croaky and fucked.
Do you get 4 of your mates to sit in like swivel chairs and like spin round when you're doing
it? I'll be honest with you, I was singing Tenacious D a little bit too loud and screaming at the top of my lungs, and I think I've literally popped my voice. So never good for when you're going to be doing a podcast that weekend. So you know, so
I once duetted with Jack Black, and he would have been very proud of that version.
Oh, cheers, Tom. Thanks. But so bear with me if my voice does go.
Will do.
Yeah, man. So what have you been up to this week then?
Well, my game this week, my main one, has been a real PC classic, but I think it's kind of forgotten by most people.
Okay.
It's called Realms of the Haunting.
Right.
And it's a first-person point-and-click survival horror with FMV.
Oh, blimey!
What more can anyone want? Like that's your 490s staples there.
Wow, so that's going back in the day a bit. Like full FMV.
Yeah, well, that's one of the big sales points at the time. Features 2 hours of full motion video cutscenes.
Nice.
But yeah, it's by a guy called Tony Crowther, who was a real stalwart of the UK development scene, like in the 8 and 16-bit days.
Okay.
He did like Wanted Monty Mole, Potty Pigeon, and do you remember Captive on the Amiga? I think that was quite a big sort of.
No, I don't remember that.
No. And he also did Challenge of the GoBots, which
GoBots, nice.
Probably not the highest point in his career.
No.
But I looked the guy up. The last thing he did was Burnout Paradise, I think.
Oh, bloody hell!
And he also worked on Battlefield 2, the consoleized ports.
Oh, cool.
So yeah, he's obviously like keeping himself up there.
Yeah.
But yeah, this game is like, I'm always a fan of games that punch above their weight. Do you know what I mean? Where they're like so ambitious that the budget doesn't really matter. It just they do their very, very best. So yeah, he's pumped his Gremlin Software. Do you remember them?
Yes.
Yeah, he's obviously taken quite a high budget from them to make this 3G engine at the time, which was, I'd say, it's comparable to like the Duke 3D engine.
Okay.
It's about that sort of level, which for a British development team to have been doing at the time is pretty smart.
Yeah. Pretty out there.
But it's got the old say, you know, like Fallout 3 on the PC where you use, or Deus Ex where you use the mouse to like click on things in your view.
Yes.
It uses that as its control scheme, which just seems to me really forward thinking for the time.
Totally, man, totally.
And it's the only survival horror game I can think of set in Cornwall.
Yeah, not the most classic of settings, is it? It's not New York or London or Paris, is it?
But yeah, it's just a fantastic game. It's available on GOG.com, Good Old Games.
Okay.
And I think at the moment it's down to $3. I mean, I feel ripped off. I paid $6 for that. I paid a whole £2 more than it should have been. But yeah, if anyone likes those sort of ambitious games that you know are like years ahead of their time, but they're a bit flawed in ways, pick it up. It's amazing. The main bad guy, well, one of the main bad guys, is played by the guy that played Pickle in Nightmare.
Oh, right, okay.
Remember Treguard's assistant, the little elf?
Yeah. Used to have the old hairy bloke going, "Welcome, travellers." Yeah, I used to love that, man.
Pickle was just like the little annoying one that he used to sort of like flip off all the time.
Yeah, man.
And weirdly, Tony Crowther also programmed the Amiga and ST versions of the actual Nightmare game. So
right. Fair enough.
It's got a very sort of 90s ish storyline, and like there's odd religious overtones, and it's all very psychedelic and weird
and a bit odd.
Yeah, like the overall premise is to stop the resurrection of the power of Satan.
So, as you do on your usual afternoon.
So it's a really heavy going plotline. It's fantastic. It goes here, there, and everywhere. So I'm guessing he was sort of enjoying the psychedelic side of the 90s as much as any of us were.
Just going out and being completely free to do whatever he wants to do.
Yeah,
man.
But like I say, it just punches way above its weight. It's doing things that games weren't doing until I'd say probably this current generation, like fully voiced. Every document you pick up in the game, like a diary page, you can actually look in and read it, and it looks like an old sort of faded piece of paper and that kind of thing, or old newspapers of the times. It's just a really modern feeling game.
So it really sort of holds up.
Yeah, without a shadow of a doubt. Yeah,
superb.
Absolutely amazing. Anyway, so that's my old classic as usual.
Old game of the week.
Yeah. So, what have you been playing, man?
I managed to get hold of a copy of Max Payne 3, and just so everyone knows, I don't have a history with the Max Payne games at all. I've played about 10 minutes of the first one years ago at a mate's house, and that's about it, really. Like, I've picked up like a few bits and bobs from listening to other nerds and geeks talking about Max Payne games. Like, I know his wife dies, I know he pops pills to get health back, I know he jumps around in bullet time and bullet dodges. The cutscenes are done in, like a comic book style, but other than that, that's about it, really.
I think that's what most people know about it. It's perennially one of those games that everyone's played for 10 minutes around a mate's house. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I suppose.
With people showing off their new graphics cards back in the day.
Yes.
And like, oh, look at the bullet time effects.
Yeah, exactly. Showing off to their mates. So
yeah, and then going back to Unreal Tournament or something you can actually play properly.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm finding the game really, really pretty, man. I mean, it's a very, very pretty game. Up there with kind of a Red Dead or something like that. It doesn't have the kind of, it's very linear, but like it's very, like less open world, but like more almost in places like Uncharted.
Wow.
Almost up to that kind of like, sort of a Rockstar type Uncharted game. It's kind of not like that's the way to put it. Like it's very very pretty. It's got all these
are the faces as good as like LA Noire, or is it not? Have they not used that?
No,
tech?
They've not used that tech because that tech's licensed to. I've forgotten what the company's called now.
Yeah, them Australian guys that made LA.
Yeah. Basically, it's licensed to them, and now they're sort of having problems and not talking to each other, so therefore never using that tech ever again.
Yeah, that's on the shelf now.
Yeah, man, totally. So, I mean, this has got like all these like really cool 24 style sort of split screens showing you the same angle of the same event from two different angles, and kind of all this like mad colour separations phasing in and out, which is kind of sort of alludes to like Max Payne being drunk, because in this game he's very I mean, from what I can pick up, Max Payne kind of gets more and more down on his luck as he play through it. Is that about right? So yeah, he's sort of I mean, to be honest with you, I'm having a bit of a problem with the character in the game, and it's kind of slightly skewing my feelings about the game at the moment. Like, I'm really enjoying the combat, because the combat's kind of does make you feel incredibly badass,
Is it really visceral?
I would never use the word visceral. even if it was very visceral, which it probably is, I'm not using that word.
Fair enough.
Yeah, man. So the jumping about and the bullet times and sort of flying through the air, being able to fly through the air and hit the button to pop the pills to get your health back, and he does it all in real time, all the way while he's flying through the air. It looks amazing.
Oh, what? So you see the animations of it?
Yeah, you see all the animations going on, or like if you reload while you're flying through the air, he'll reload, or do whatever you're doing while he's flying through the air. It just looks superb.
So it's not just a reload noise. You actually you
see it. Wow. You see it all happen, and like if you've got a group of say 5 guys in a room, and you get it down to the one last guy and you shoot him, it zooms into this like bullet camera and it follows the bullet straight into the guy.
Yeah.
And then you can hold a button down and slow the bullet down and watch his face like kind of get hit by the bullet and deform, and it's like properly grim, in some places. But I mean, like I said, really enjoying the game.
One quick question. Did you go for free aim or auto aim? Because I know that seems to affect enjoyment that people are having with it.
I'm playing it on free aim, because I found the auto aims to be really clunky.
Yeah.
I couldn't That didn't feel right. Just didn't feel right for me, so I switched it to free aim.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I'm having a few problems with the controls. They feel a little bit imprecise, but I think that's because of the kind of when you're jumping about, I'll get someone lined up perfectly to then jump out of cover. But as soon as I jump out of the cover, the reticle will move like a foot to one side of them, and so then I've got to kind of fight the camera, fight the reticle back to the guy I was going to shoot, and there's just weird things like that, little tiny things, other stuff like if you get shot at, I'm finding a lot that I'm getting shot out of nowhere. I'll be standing around, and all of a sudden I'll just go one shot down, gone. I don't know where it's come from. I don't know where the guy is. I can't see anyone, and it's probably come from behind me or just in front of me. They don't give you, and sometimes they don't. They're very, very precise, almost laser guided with their shooting.
And it doesn't give like a sort of
no indication, no muzzle flash,
no
nothing. It's just shit, I'm dead. What happened there? And but sometimes you'll get shot, and then you'll go into a last man standing mode.
Yeah.
Where everything slows down, and it's very much like in Red Dead when you push one of the bumpers to slow down time and paint over. Do you remember that? You basically pulled the bumper, you slowed down time, you painted over the people. I think it was in the dual mode as well, and you then you
let go and it just automatically gets all of those targets.
This you don't have to paint anything. It just, everything slows down, and you have to guide your reticle over to the guy that shot you to activate this mode. And then once you do that, if you shoot him before you bleed out or the timer runs out, then you get a bit of health back and you come back to life. The only problem is that sometimes, I had a situation where I'm running through a corridor, I'm being shot at through the windows, and a guy has shot me through a window, but because I've then carried on to the pillar next to the window, it's gone into last man standing, and I can't shoot the guy that shot me because there's a fucking great pillar in the way. And rather than it just going, well, there's a pillar in the way, you've got no chance of shooting the guy, we'll just end it now. I've got to sit through this long ass timer of me slowly rolling down towards the floor, all the while thinking, God, I wish I could just shoot the guy to get some energy back.
Or at least sort of discard the power up until you actually want to use it.
Exactly. So, there's just silly little bits like that have kind of been annoying me with the game. But like I said, just getting back to the character, I'm just not finding him likeable. And it's making it really, really hard for me to kind of root for him.
Yeah.
Because not only is he just really miserable and down and just not and not a very nice guy, and then wants to redeem himself but really can't be bothered with it, and I just think, well, if you can't be bothered with it, mate, just fuck off.
Yeah, I can't be bothered with your game.
Why are you going through all this shit? Why don't you just not bother? It's just
go home and have a cuppa.
Yeah, it's just go home and have get out of this situation, go and do something else. But I'm just finding and he's a bit like Mr. Magoo. He's just kind of blindly stumbles into these situations without really knowing what's going on, and sort of, then manages to just stumble his way through and get out the other side, barely surviving, and not really knowing what's going on. And it's I really, like I said, really find it really hard to root for the guy. I just can't get my head around him at all.
Well, in a wider context with games, it's difficult when someone's meant to identify with the character they're playing to have a non-likable character.
Yeah.
In films and TV, sometimes the anti-hero is the best character in the whole thing. But if you're playing that character, as you say, it's difficult to
it's
find their motivations, isn't it?
Yeah, totally. And like I said, it's been making it hard for me to push my way through the game because I don't really care about whether he does well or not. I'm not rooting for him. So, but yeah, other than that, I mean, like I said, the actual story is very good, if a little hackneyed in places. But I'm really enjoying it. I'm about halfway through it. So I put it out on Twitter that I didn't really find the first half enjoyable, and everyone was saying, "Oh no, second half gets much better." So I'm really, really hoping that, getting into the second half now, second disc, hoping it sort of picks up a bit more and kind of gets a bit more bit more interesting and a bit more, like I really want the guy to do well, because if it doesn't, I don't think I'm going to find this game, too much fun,
It's just going to be a downer.
Yeah, it's just going to be like a really big downer, and I don't like. From what I've seen, it doesn't really deserve to be a downer, if you know what I mean. Because there's so much that's gone into it. Like, there's some great little bits. Like, you can only hold 2 weapons, but you physically hold. You don't strap them to your back like a Mass Effect, or something like that. You physically hold the weapon. So if you've got like a pistol, and then you pick up like an M16, because that's a 2-handed weapon, you just hold it in your other hand. And you're running along with it like a briefcase. So it's quite realistic in the way that it kind of, handles, in other games you just strap that to your back, or you put something on this non-existent, belt buckle on your waist or whatever, But
It's quite good at getting across his workman-like attitude to just taking care of business, as it were.
Yeah, very much so, very much so, But I mean, there's so many things I've got a laundry list of things. Like, I've been sitting there in a game. Sort of writing down why are you doing? Why is he doing this? Why is this happening? I don't understand. There's lots of things that I can't get my head round, and I think that's more of a me problem. I think if you get into you're rooting for the guy, I think there's a lot of my problems that I've got with the game that I don't think other people would have with it. But
a bit like looking too deeply into it.
Yeah.
If you look too deeply into, say, Star Wars, you realise it's actually not that great a film. Whereas if you just switch off and enjoy it as a kid, then...
It's like the old thing in Clerks with they're saying about well, the rebels just killed like a load of innocent workers on the Death Star.
Yeah, because they're only just building it. They're just construction stuff and all that.
Yeah, exactly. So it's very similar to that. Like, if you look too far into it, you ruin it. So maybe that's what's happening a little bit, but. Yeah, like overall, it's very action packed. Like the combat's very good. If it's got its little kind of bits of weirdness in places, but like I said, hoping that the second half picks up, because I think it deserves a good ending from what I've seen of the story. Anyway.
Oh, maybe like next week you can come back and let us know.
How
like
you
found
say,
the second half. So,
hopefully I'll crack it this weekend, and so hopefully I can smash through that. That'd be good.
Excellent.
Yeah. So you got anything else, man?
Yeah, just a quickie.
No, I'm not. No. I'm not doing a quickie. I'm sorry. I'm not that kind of boy.
With Jetpack Joyride by Half Brick.
Okay.
We're talking about Fruit Ninja, and I thought, I've had Jetpack Joyride for ages, but there's been so many updates. They keep bringing in new stuff.
Yeah.
And I've not played it since then.
No, it's superb. I love that game.
It's good, isn't it?
Yeah, it's
really good. Obviously very simple. But I prestiged it. I didn't realise you could do that. I got through all the missions, and it said, do you want to trade in all of your previous achievements for one little badge and then start the game afresh? So I thought, it's going to increase the longevity. But so I completed it once in a day. So I was quite chuffed with that.
Excellent, man. In a day?
Yeah.
Mad. That's crazy.
It's so addictive, though, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. You can lose a lot of I've missed many a train station playing on Jetpack Joyride. Do you know what I mean? And had to sit there for 30 minutes waiting for a train to go back the other way. So,
especially when it's like you have to die between these 2 points, like between 500 and 550 meters.
Yeah, exactly.
Find that he skids just over into 552 or something like that. It's like,
no, I've got to do it again. No.
Yeah, so nothing major, but if anyone's not played it, then pick yourself that up on the iPhone. It's good.
No, superb.
Right, then. Anything else?
No, that's it, man. That's all I've been playing is Max Payne this week. Yeah, it's been.
You've immersed yourself into the character.
Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna go off and pop some pills now and get fucked up on 2 bottles of whiskey. So
good stuff. That sounds like a good plan for the break, actually.
Yes, mate. So do you want to go to break then? Yeah.
Yeah, let's do that.
All right, then. Break.
Right, bye-bye. Sweet, that's half the show in the bag. Before you go and get your drink though, man, we're talking about Nightmare?
Yep.
Well, there's a game on iPhone called Undercroft, totally free download, and it well reminds me of that show. I reckon you should give it a try. You'll like it.
All right, okay. I'll give it a go. I used to love that program when I was a kid.
Oh, so did I, man. Get home from school, watch Nightmare. You downloaded it yet, by the way?
Mate, it's been 10 seconds since you asked me.
No, get it. It'll be fun, I promise.
All right. It's downloading. Fuck's sake.
Good. Right, so if it's downloading, have you got a woolly hat?
A woolly hat? Dan, it's boiling outside, mate. What do I need a hat for?
Duh. To cover your eyes. Unless you've got an official Nightmare helmet, which I'm assuming you haven't.
Fine, I'll get a hat.
And while you're getting that, I'll dig out my old VHS tape for the music.
The music?
You can't play Nightmare without the music. I don't think you're taking this seriously, man.
Okay.
Right, here we go. Just press play.
I, Treguard, Guardian and Dungeon Master, bid you welcome.
Hang on, need to rewind it a bit more.
You notice it's gone hard and stiff here. That's very good. And it looks a bit like a pair of trousers, doesn't it?
Oh, gone a bit too far back. I'll just fast forward it a bit.
Dan, man, I'm sitting here like a prick with a woolly hat pulled over my face. Are we ready to do this now, or what?
No talk until the music's finished. You're ruining this, man. Right, start the app and pull the hat down right over your eyes.
Okay.
Yep, you got it pulled over your eyes, right?
Yes. But I can't see the controls.
All right, how can we do this? Tell you what, get some cardboard, put it over the top half of your iPhone screen instead.
Whatever.
Now start the game. Done? Yeah?
Yeah.
Right. Take 6 steps forward.
Okay.
Sidestep 3 paces right and talk to the man.
Okay.
No, talk to him.
Hello, man.
His name's Myron.
Hello, Myron.
Right, so take the key he gives you,
Right.
turn left, step forward 6 steps and open the gate.
Okie dokie.
Now, on the floor, pick up the chicken.
I can't. I've been killed by a giant worm.
Oh, I said turn left, not right.
Okay, mate, look. Anyway, is that it? Because we really need to get on with the second half of the show now, mate.
No, you died. You're stuck in the void. Treguard's rules are Treguard's rules.
Dan, man, it's only a game.
Nightmare is not just a game. It's serious business. I thought you'd find this fun.
Well, yeah, it's sort of fun in a totally not fun kind of way. But we've got a show to do, mate. Come on, can we get on?
Well, that's the last time I tried to show you a new game.
Thank God for that.
Join us again for Nightmare. And just keep telling yourself, it's only a game, isn't it?
clarification to do. Do you remember that email we had from that Jay Stokes bloke?
Yes, mate. The one we've been doing every week for the last God knows how long.
Pretty much since we started the show.
Yes.
Yeah, we said we'd finished it, and it turns out there's still 2 more to do. But should we just leave it?
Yeah, I mean, he's not going to know, is he?
He's not going to listen.
Come on, lads. Don't do that to me. Of course I'm going to listen.
Hello, mate.
Hi. Sorry, who are you?
It's me, Jay Stokes, #1 fan.
Oh, wow.
Hello,
you
mate.
Right, Jace?
How you doing? You all right?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks, lads.
Good to have you here.
Excellent. So, what have you have you come on to kind of give us a grilling about, what we've been saying about your different choices and stuff?
Well, the whole point of it was to assess you as gamers, so I thought it only best to come and have a chat and see what I think of your choices.
Fair enough. So
you're going to say, I actually prefer Sonic Me.
That is terrible.
It is terrible, and I apologise to you, Mr. Jay Stokes.
That's all right, mate. I'll let you off this time.
So, yeah, what have you thought of our choices so far?
I think you pretty much hit a nail on the head with most of them. Personally, I might put Pez over FIFA because that's just the way I roll. But I think you talk some sense, and you obviously know what you're talking about. So yeah.
I think with last week's, especially with PES versus FIFA and COD versus Battlefield, we were kind of thinking more what's changed the industry most rather than what we'd actually maybe prefer to play ourselves.
Yeah,
which
because we copped a lot of flack on Twitter about that, which is quite funny.
Especially for COD Battlefield, we got some stick.
Yeah, we got some serious stick on all of them. On some, well, yeah, we got loads of stick, but that one particularly, kind of people really got up in arms about it. So yeah, thanks for that, Jace.
Mate, that was the point of it, really, just to it's pitting genres against each other, really, rather than
Yeah, there's some wicked choices because there's a couple in there. Like I wouldn't have put Halo and Gears of War together, and like R-Type versus 1943, I would never have thought to put them against each other, but they work really well.
Yeah, that's what we thought when we first looked at the email. We were like, we're not going to be able to sort of come up with a fair argument. But then we saw what you were trying to do, like with the Halo Gears being both the sort of Microsoft first-party franchises rather than as shooters, which is the sort of which is Microsoft's flagship, is kind of more the question, isn't it? I guess.
Yeah, that's it. You got the point.
Exactly. So let's get to this week then. What are the two we're missing out then, Dan?
We're missing out on Forza versus Need for Speed. Sorry, Forza versus Need for Speed. And Metal Gear Solid versus Siphon Filter.
Okie dokie. So all right, Jace, as you're the guest, which one would you like to start on first?
Can we do the driving one first?
Yes, mate. Okay, so Forza versus Need for Speed. Let's start with Need for Speed then. What do you feel about that?
Well, I've never liked the Need for Speed series. It's never been one that's really floated my boat. I always see it as more of an arcade driving game, and that's not really my bag.
And that puts you off, yeah?
Yeah, that's the one.
Oh, mate, what a nightmare.
Well, I'm in the same boat as you. I prefer an arcade driving game, but I still don't like Need for Speed. I still prefer Forza, which is, ironically, one of the most realistic. So.
But doesn't Need for Speed switch it up a lot? I mean, I know it's arcadey and blah, 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 but you've got to say that it's not just racing around in circles. You are kind of like, you've got Most Wanted, you've got all these kind of different mechanics and different modes you can play in. You know,
well, that's just a badge. It's just a badge that they shove on games from various developers, isn't it? It's just EA's racing brand rather than an actual game series now. I think maybe back in the day, up until, what were those urban ones? Was it Need for Speed Underground?
Yeah. I like that. I'm sorry, but I really like Need for Speed Underground because I'm from Essex and I get to put blue lights under my car.
And you like your urban music and your R&B and all that.
Because that is well wicked, and I'd like to put a whale tail on a Peugeot 206.
Well, that was it. Need for Speed's always tried to appeal to the boy racer type with the big car modifications and all the stuff and the power sliding. But I'm all about the realism. Ever since like Gran Turismo and stuff, Gran Turismo 1 and 2.
Cool.
See, it's interesting that you didn't pick Gran Turismo for this match-up between them. Like, you didn't say Forza versus Gran Turismo or Need for Speed versus Gran Turismo. So
exactly. So, like, why did you pick Forza over Gran Turismo?
Purely because I'm not PlayStation bound anymore these days. My PlayStation gathers dust, and it's all about the Xbox at the moment.
Oh, fair enough. I suppose you can get a few more. I don't know. I can't really say that. I was going to say you get a few more people, through Xbox Live playing Forza. But I know there's a lot of people around my way, like at work and stuff, are playing a lot of Gran Turismo at the moment. So maybe that's not a fair assumption to make. But I mean, I love Forza. I absolutely love it. I think what they've done to kind of further on that simulation racer is absolutely superb. With that whole taking away the kind of mission structure of. Next race, like, take this race and then do this race and then do this race, and you just do it in an order, and then you do a cup race and then it's done. Bringing in that whole kind of dynamic race system of I've picked this car and it opens up a whole series of races that I never knew existed, and then when I upgrade it, and it then opens up a whole new section of races. I just think it's fantastic, man.
It's quite similar to the FIFA and PES question, isn't it? Well, Need for Speed isn't, but like the Gran Turismo has kind of stayed on a plateau since maybe the third one. It hasn't really made any leaps and bounds. Whereas in the same time as Gran Turismo 4 and 5 have been made, Forza's come out with 4 games that have kept going like, bang, here's new features, this is new modes, this is what you can do now.
But it shows you how, through iteration, like games can actually really get refined down into a brilliant experience.
Yeah, and possibly through lots and lots of money being thrown at it.
Yeah, true. There is that
Definitely.
as well. That always helps.
I mean, Gran Turismo isn't a cheaply made series by any stretch, but But Forza must be dripping with money as far as the production goes.
But the thing is that a lot of that money that's put into Gran Turismo is spent on like guys going out and actually recording engines and getting the hyper realism. You know that maybe
Forza
a
do
lot
that
of people.
now, though.
Yeah, to a degree. But I think if you look at the Gran Turismo stuff, there's a level of geekdom for cars that goes into that is that I don't think Forza is quite matched yet. But we're getting off the topic, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
You know, Forza versus Nathan. That's our trademark now. Just get completely off topic. So,
I blame Jace.
Yes, mate.
Oh, thanks, lads. Yeah, thanks.
That's all good.
That's right.
So, but Need for Speed, right? When it started back on the 3DO, it was actually seen as one of the most realistic driving games going.
Well, yeah, wasn't that the one? It was just like you were essentially going. You were just going down a pretty much dead straight
roads, sort of coastal roads, and sort of through the countryside and.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember that kind of being really in awe of the fact that you were looking through the windscreen of the car as opposed to like Outrun, where it was the back of the arse end of the car and it was a sprite moving backwards like left and right.
Yeah.
You know, actually having a steering wheel in front of you and it was coming through the windscreen was a bit like, it was special, man. That's what really made it.
First person in at first. But
Did they not?
I see your point. I think you're thinking of Test Drive.
Oh, I am. No, you are right. I am thinking of Test Drive.
But again, they're easy ones to get confused because they're quite similar series where they don't seem to know where they quite stand. Even nowadays, man. Test Drive with Test Drive Unlimited.
Yes.
It's like, does it want to be a sim? Does it want to be a racer? Does it want to be this flash your lights at, like, to start a race, like make it all street and urban? But then you've got this, so I think the two series are quite mixed up.
See, the thing is, though, like I said, I really like Need for Speed because, like you say, even though you are right, it is just a branding for, we've thought of a racing game. I really like the fact that, you've gone from Underground, which is kind of like just boy racer, herring around the city racing, through to like Hot Pursuit, up to Hot Pursuit, where it's kind of quite linear in a respect, but there's this whole story aspect of racing across the country or whatever.
Well, it's a Burnout game in all but name, isn't it? Really?
Yeah. So I like the fact that they change it up. Whereas Forza, let's be honest, like I've got Forza 2, and I'm playing Forza 4 now, and you could from a layman's point of view, you can't really tell the difference other than the bells and whistles they've put on the game modes and stuff. You've got it quite seriously into the online side of Forza, haven't you, Chelsea? Yes. I've been in a few racing leagues and got way too involved in like tweaking cars and to the little tiniest degree of getting gear ratios and looking on forums for the best gear ratio for this certain gearbox and this certain type of car. And, there is something to be said for if you're really into your cars and then just sort of sitting there for a week, like preparing for this racing league, the Super Happy Fun Time one I was in, they had these Lotuses and you couldn't do anything to them. They had to be standard, but you had to tweak the car with gear ratios and wing settings and, tyre pressures and stuff. And that was the only advantage you could get. And doing that and spending like a week just sitting there pumping 60, 70 laps in just, testing it's amazing, it's a game in itself. It's one of those things that I guess some players would find amazing and some would find totally soul destroying. Oh, totally. I can imagine something, it is a total grind. Which is something I want to get back to, actually. I want to talk about grinding in games, because it's something that's been bothering me in the last few weeks. But that's another feature for another time. But I thought you were suddenly going to go into, so this week's topic is grinding, and me and Jason would be like, hang on. Oh. No. I'm just that popped into my head. So, we're going to have to talk about that at some point. Yeah, no, good. But, good and I don't mean Tony Hawk's grinding either. Yes. What are we going to call the winner then? I'm going to go Forza.
Yeah, Forza for me.
Yes, it's Need for Speed for me, so I'm outvoted. Even though I love Forza. I love it to bits. Yeah, I thought you were a real Forza fan, but then obviously you've got a sort of hidden passion for Need for Speed. I don't know, there's just something about the Need for Speed games that sort of brings out the inner Essex boy in me and kind of, Are we changing your name to Chavy from now on? Yes, Chavy. Chavy, yes, thanks. Cool. Well, at least if we go for Forza, we're not going to have a shit ton from the internet of people saying we got the wrong one. So, you'd be surprised, mate.
Yeah, you never know. There's going to be someone come out of the woodwork, isn't there?
Yeah, mate. But yeah, no, it's a worthy winner. But yeah, I think in my heart, Need for Speed's the one for me, unfortunately. But yeah, Forza's the winner.
And there's no reason why we have to have one unified answer, is there? So yeah.
No. Plus,
we've only just realised that in the last week of doing the feature that we don't need to have agreed on an answer.
Exactly.
And so yeah, the other one, Siphon Filter versus Metal Gear Solid. Now
cool.
we'd spoken about this one before, but it seems like when we were just sort of talking before the show, Jace had a bit of a thing for Siphon Filter.
I mean, we were all ready to just go Metal Gear Solid, move on.
Yeah.
But then Jace threw a spanner in the works and went, no, I really like Siphon Filter. So, prove us wrong, man.
Yeah, give it space.
On the spot, putting you right on the spot.
Well, the thing with Siphon Filter, it wasn't. It came out before Metal Gear Solid, I believe, the first one.
No, it came out about 3 months after.
Was it? Oh,
yeah,
well, I must have had it before then.
Yeah, Metal Gear Solid was November 98.
Hello.
And
Hello.
January was January 99 for Siphon Filter. It's only because I checked it to see what the Tony's story was all about.
Spotter. So, in my life then, in my PlayStation days, it must have come before. Siphon Filter was something new at the time. There was nothing like near future, a bit of stealth and a bit of shooting. I always thought the shooting mechanics on it were fantastic compared to anything else that was around at the time. And then Metal Gear Solid for me was all sneaking around, hide in a cupboard, blow some smoke.
Very technical.
Just the kind of stuff you do every day, rather than you wanted escapism.
Exactly right.
So the one thing I remember about Siphon Filter is that kind of really weird leaning run that you would do every time you'd go around a corner.
Yeah.
I just seem to remember him being at a really weird banked angle, and it's
a bit like
really
a cartoon character where it goes and they skid round the corner, kind of.
Yeah, totally. But I don't really remember much about Siphon Filter, to be honest with you.
I remember, to me, it felt like. Do you remember the third-person bits from Die Hard trilogy?
Yes.
It felt like that, but you didn't get the driving game and the light gun game to go with it.
The
so
other
to
two
me, it
bits
felt like
that
a
were
third of a game. Yeah. But I love Metal Gear Solid so much that to me, Siphon Filter just felt like a kind of also ran. So I think it might depend, as you say, on which order you played them in, Jace, because that would entirely make Alex from Digital Cowboys' view on it make sense as well. So maybe it is just which one you think is first in your mind.
What is Alex's view on it?
Well, I don't want to steal Tony Atkins' story, but it's one that they always rib Alex for. That he'd obviously played Siphon Filter first, and when he got round to playing Metal Gear Solid, played it for a couple of hours, and said, "It's no Siphon Filter, though, is it?" So, and they've ribbed him for it ever since. Which I think
it's not only me.
Yeah, exactly. There are two of you out there. You can start a support group on the net or something.
Yeah, totally, man.
Gabe Logan support group.
Yeah, at least his surname wasn't Lowjob. I think that's probably quite lucky. Yeah, but see, I know Siphon Filter has gone on and had sequels and what have you. Have you played any of those, Jace?
I've played one of the recent ones, but I think they've gone off the boil for me. But then again, I haven't played any of the Metal Gear Solids recently either, so perhaps it's just a thing I'm not going near altogether.
Yeah, the whole spy thing doesn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the recent ones have been. I think the original was as well by Sony Bend. They had a different name at the time. Was it 989 Studios? 585 Studios. But yeah, the original. The people that do it now have now gone on to do that Uncharted game on Vita. So they're obviously a successful team. But yeah, I don't think Siphon Filter will ever be remembered as fondly by the majority of people as Metal Gear Solid is, man.
Yeah. So let's actually talk about Metal Gear Solid as, you know, let's just gush about that for a little while. So I remember I've never heard of Metal Gear or Metal Gear Solid game, the game or anything. The first I heard about it was in a tiny little clipping in a, what was the magazine? The official PlayStation magazine. It was just like a tiny little thing. Oh, this game with Metal Gear Solid is going to be coming out soon. It was just a tiny little screenshot. And I was like, oh, that looks interesting. And then picked it up day one. Didn't know anything about it, as is my way. Don't look at any pre-release hype. Just sort of just go out and buy things off the shelf. And took it home, started playing it on like a Saturday night. And then the next thing I knew, it was Monday morning, and I had to go to work. and I was just so completely blown away by how cinematographic it was, and kind of how
it's
much
so good. We're inventing new words.
That's
how good it is.
It's just so much like a film.
Yeah,
that's what I'm trying to say. Without inventing
we
words.
Know what you mean. It's all good.
But how much like a film it was, and how just so involving the atmosphere and the presence. It just blew me away. Just absolutely blew me away. And that whole, with the codex number on the back of the box, and spending hours trying to work out where this CD case was in the game.
Such a tiny little trick, but one that sort of like lives with you forever.
But then realizing that the designers were fucking with you, but in the real world outside of the game, just like, the top of my head just blew off.
That's the thing with a lot of these Kojima tricks, like the moving the joypad, reading the memory card, the back of the CD box. All of these things he's done that sort of trick gamers and break the fourth wall. A lot of the time, they're ideas that anyone could come up with, but they're ideas that could only have been done once. Do you know what I mean? They're ideas you can't copy. So it's just breaking the mold, isn't it? I think is that.
Yeah. But there is but the level of quality that goes into since Solid, the level of quality that's gone into those games is absolutely astounding. Like you couldn't say that any of the Siphon Filter games had that level of, polish and quality. I mean, admittedly, there's been a lot of money chucked at it, but, Metal Gear just, from start to finish, there's never been, even with their worst Metal Gear game, it's still probably better than 90% of the games out there.
Yeah, I totally agree with you there. And it's one that, I've always had a real thing for Metal Gear Solid. It's like one of my favourite franchises of all of the games out there.
But is that because it's just incredibly convoluted story?
Or is possibly. It I think the story is too convoluted for anyone to really not to care about. But I don't care what happens in the next game, especially as they've done prequels and offshoots and all sorts since. I think it's more the way he tells the story rather than the story itself.
Right.
I love his. It's really verbose, is that the word? Where he uses, like, sort of, if you could use one word, Kojima will use, like, 17.
And a cutscene.
Yeah, and a 2-hour cutscene. I just love that he's doing things that no one else does in the industry. That he is his own little... a law unto himself.
Yeah.
And I love him for that. So.
Yeah, man. No, they're wicked games. They're absolutely wicked games.
See, I'm showing my age here, man, but the original Metal Gear Solid, I actually looked forward to that for, like, 2 years before. From Edge came with this little CD-ROM that you could put in your computer, and there was a trailer on it there, and I'd never seen anything like it, and looked forward to it ever since. So yeah, that's easily my pick.
Yeah, man, totally. So, are you happy with that being a pick, Mr. Jason? Are you gonna batter us down and veto it and say Siphon Filter?
That's all good, mate. I think you'll take in the accounts of not 90% of gamers out there. They might, probably 98%, to be honest. Apart from me and your man, you talked about before. But I think to try and sway you, I think I'll have to bring Siphon Filter and my PS1 down to Eurogamer, and we'll have a go down there.
Yes, you do that. Yeah, yes, we can watch you play a single player. Oh no, you can do split screen in Siphon Filter, can't you?
Yes.
Yeah, see, that's the one reason that Siphon Filter, I think, gets a little bit of like an extra sort of couple of homework points here, is that it was almost seen as like the answer to GoldenEye as well as Metal Gear Solid at the time. I think Sony were trying to sort of cover two bases, and they fall between two stools. But to have the balls to try and say, we're going to make a game that's better than GoldenEye and better than Metal Gear Solid, I think you got to get some credit for that.
Yeah, exactly, totally. So Metal Gear wins then.
Yeah.
Yay! Right.
So done.
That's us done. All done. We don't have to worry now that Jason's going to pop up again.
Yeah, until next week when he sends another one with like, I've just been thinking about these games like Tetris versus Columns and all that.
It could go on, mate. It could go on a long, long time.
Oh, blimey. He's going to be like a feature machine.
I think, as it is it does sort of, what's the word? It sort of polarizes and brings us together sometimes. So I think if anyone out there has got any ideas to sort of follow it, it is quite a nice thing to do. So if you've got any two that you think are really pithy that will come up with a good argument, then do send them in to us.
Yeah, good game battles. That's what we want.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. So anyway, right, let's move on. To the news.
Yeah, let's. Now, there's not been any amazing... It's been a slow news week this week, which if you've looked at any of the Game Insights, I think you will have spotted that, in fact, it's such a slow news week that one of the biggies is that the name of the Wii U has been confirmed
to
be the Wii U.
Wow.
Dun, dun, dun.
And in other news, the Dreamcast is still called the Dreamcast.
Yeah. In other news, the sky is blue. Yeah, so that's shocking.
I think the story is more that Nintendo have now put up the official Facebook page for the Wii U. Yeah. So it looks like the wheels are in motion and things are sort of moving ahead. But
it's funny, you don't normally get like sort of code names turn into real names. But then again, I don't think that was a code name, was it? The Wii U. I think it was just like a pre-release name that then stuck.
With Dolphin, they never actually sort of announced it at E3 as Dolphin, whereas I think Wii U was the name they gave it at not announcement, but when they first pre-announced it last year. So.
Yeah, fair enough. So yeah, the most pointless news story in the world.
Also, it looks like Ash from Pokemon is going to be in the new Smash Brothers from the looks of the trailer that's been shown on the Facebook page.
Oh right, okay.
That's probably actually more important news than the news itself, isn't it? But I just spotted that in the comments of a forum somewhere. So
nice.
So yeah, that's the bigger part of it.
Right. Well,
other news is something that you guys might be interested in. They've been discussing the updates for Minecraft on the 360.
Yes. I know. I've got absolutely addicted to Minecraft, and I know Jace was very kind enough to show me around his megalopolis of a world. You know, it was ridiculous. Like, because I've played Minecraft before, always single player, and then kind of got into never played it multiplayer, like on a server or anything. This is on the PC side. But then, like a few weeks ago, I thought, well, I'll tell you what, I'm going to buy this for my stepdaughter, and then sit there and play it 2-player. It's going to be really convenient. Sit in the front room, job's good. And it's been great fun playing it. But then Jace went, "Oh no, come in and see my pirate ship." And I'm like, pirate ship in Minecraft? Intriguing. So it's the first time I've ever been into someone else's world and seen and it's amazing, man. Absolutely amazing. The stuff you've done in it.
It really makes the game though, the co-op thing. When you play with 6 or 7 or 8 people, all building together and everyone's helping each other out, and it makes Minecraft what it always should have been.
It's weird. It's like some really weird chat room that just happens to have loads of people running about in it, like with big square blocks, building
like a big
stuff.
Loading screen.
Yeah, exactly. It's really weird. It was just the weirdest experience. Like sort of you're chatting away to someone, and then all of a sudden Jace will run past with a load of like iron ore. You know, all right, lads, gone. It was wicked. And then seeing you're in Tower of Babel or whatever it is with your portal on the top of it. Yeah. You know, like the Eye of Sauron, the Eye of Jace looking out over all it surveys.
That's it. But thinking about the update though, apparently 4J are saying that they're going to bring it up to equivalent to the PC version of 1.7.3, which adds things such as pistons, shearing sheep for wool rather than beating them up the side of the head. You can now shear the leaves off the trees. Just general little updates like that, I think. I think everyone was hoping it'd be a bit later than 1.7.3, but the pistons themselves are a big thing for me.
Yeah, man.
What do the pistons actually do in the game?
The pistons enable mechanical things to happen. A piston is built up with a piece of slime, so it effectively sticks to another block. And then using a redstone or a switch, you can actually get that block to move one space across. And then that can move a group of blocks. So you can have big complex things. I remember one scene on YouTube where you flick a switch and the whole front of this castle just opens up. So it's like a big mechanical thing, yeah. That's it.
Also, so would that be how the people have got, when there's a working calculator that people have got?
Yeah, I think that's part of that, yeah.
That must be that as well. Ah.
Yeah, so yeah. I'm really, really intrigued to see, what that does, because now I've got really into it on the sort of XBLA side. I really want to kind of start building these mad contraptions. It's going to be quality.
When you say about being invited into Jace's world to see what it's like, it makes me think of someone playing a guitar in a pub and then someone saying, "Oh, I make music as well," and then you go back and it's turns out to be one of the Rolling Stones. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, totally. That's exactly what it was like. It was ridiculous. It's there's me making my mud hut out of sort of 12 bricks. And I've made some glass and might put a window in, and then you sort of go, "Oh look, I've just going to jump into Jace's. Oh my God! Look at this incredible palace they've built. How the fuck? It's mental, absolutely mental. Like I said, jumping onto a pirate ship with like 2 little beds and all the, everything set out and little signs above each bed and everything like that. It's like, oh my God, you've gone like to the properly in detail with it. It's wicked, absolutely wicked, man.
Do you think they'll get round to the adventure update at some point?
I hope so.
I think they have to, really. It's where Minecraft's gone for the PC, and that was the biggest change, I think, to give you some sort of point to the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, because at the moment it is just like you sort of build stuff, and then once you run out of ideas, you kind of run out of, stuff to do in the game, really. That's it. Whereas with the adventure update, at least you're kind of having to build up XP and, trying to get to some form of end game.
And keeping your health up and stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, it's, that would be amazing, but it's just one of those ones whether the Xbox can actually, like, keep up with the performance that it needs to kind of do all that kind of background stuff.
To play devil's advocate slightly, do you think it's worth the 1,600 points as it stands at the moment?
What do you reckon, Jason?
Well, I'd like to have. I'd like it not to have been so much having already paid whatever it was, £15, £18, whatever it was, to get the PC version.
Yeah.
But I think once I played it co-op, that really was worth the 1,600 for me.
Yeah.
Just the sense of community all building together. I think that made it worthwhile.
I think the problem price-wise is that they've clearly just done it because it's Minecraft, haven't they?
Well, yeah, to a degree, I think they've done it because it's Minecraft. But I also think that, like Jason was saying, it's a hassle to go and set up. You've got to get another PC and set up a server and then have dedicated connections to run that server, and it's a pain in the arse. And then what brought me in was the fact that I can go on, I can play 2-player split screen, have a great time, and all I've got to do is turn the Xbox on. I haven't got to do any of the other faffing about, and it's convenient. And you're kind of paying that extra money, in part, for the convenience of not having to do all this other complicated shit on the back end.
Yeah.
So, it's 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. But yeah, I think that's probably more why the price is so much. But it would be nicer to, 1,200 points is the kind of de facto standard for, the more prestige titles on XBLA.
That's right.
So
given that it followed 2 weeks after Trials Evolution, which was fantastic, and that was only 1,200.
Yeah, exactly. It does seem like a cash grab, but I think
also when you download it, you see it's only about 132 meg or something. It's like one of the smallest games on XBLA, yet with the highest price point.
Yeah, but
does it improve after? Because I only tried the trial, and the tutorial seemed so laborious and slow, I guess is the word I'd use.
But that's the kind of point of the game, though, man.
Of course it is. But
I've been using it as like I've come home from work, I've had a really long day, and then all I want to do is just sit down with Minecraft. It's slow. It chills me out. The music's really, really relaxing, and it's just like a total chill. Do you remember like when you used to come back from? I don't know if you used to do this, but like you used to come back from clubbing. At like 2-3 in the morning with your mates, and you'd all sit down and you'd all just like whack on a few chill out tunes and just like, watch a bit of telly or, quick game on the PlayStation as, some puzzle game, something like that, just to chill.
Olympic soccer.
Yeah, exactly. just to come down from the mental night that you've had. That's what Minecraft is. It's just this massive, like sort of chill out, relaxing game. It's not.
As far as the same with the tutorial though, Dan. They've only thrown that in really to make it more accessible for people who don't know anything about Minecraft. But if you think back to the pre-beta on the PC, when it first came out, it was all word of mouth, and there wasn't even a wiki up for it. And it was you get this game and you spawn in, and then you don't know what you're going to do. Yeah. And that was the whole thing of Minecraft, which I think has been slightly lost in this version.
Yeah, it's been babyfied's probably the wrong way to put it, but it has been kind of made
sanitized
and made more user friendly for a wider market.
I'm sure we can all see why they've done it though.
Oh yeah, totally. It makes total sense. It makes total sense. But like you say, it kind of takes away that exploration factor a little bit, doesn't it?
Yeah,
which is a shame.
Yep.
But the other thing with the updates, just as a sort of like kicker, just to sort of like pat the story on the bum, is that any major updates will have to be paid DLC despite the higher price tag, just due to how XBLA works. So
Hopefully they won't be too extortionate.
Yeah, fingers crossed they're like 400 points rather than like a 1,200 or even 800. So.
Yeah, man. But yeah, good news. Good news.
Yeah, good stuff.
Good news,
and then we've got one more story, which is kind of an and finally story, but it's probably the most serious story of the week as well. Did either of you guys hear about Papa Quash?
No.
I did, but only through you.
Ah, right. Well, do either of you remember Sam Pepper from Big Brother?
Yep.
The Big Brother contestant. Well, it was kind of the new rave days. He wore like sort of, the neon shades and like a bright green baseball hat and like...
Yes.
Yeah, it was all kind of new rave and very sort of trendy in quote marks. He decided he wanted to make an app for the iPhone. And what he did was, rather than sort of come up with a fresh idea, he decided to copy a game called Johann Sebastian Joust, which has been
sort of a bit of an indie darling, isn't it?
Yeah, on the indie scene on the PS Move. Now the idea is that everyone holds a PS Move controller or an iPhone in this case, and you have to knock other people's without letting yours vibrate or shake too much, and the person who doesn't shake their phone is the winner. Now, aside from the problem that you're going to get smashed iPhones left, right, and centre, like God knows what the bill would have been for the damages if they'd have kept it on the store. But yeah, it turns out that he'd said he'd asked for permission to make the game from the original developers, and then everyone was like, "Oh, that's all right then. He's asked for permission." Then suddenly the developers put out a tweet saying, "Just for your information, we'd never give anyone the permission to do that," which suddenly shook everything up entirely. Yeah. And then I remembered to myself, hang on, the company that made the app for him are the ones that made Whale Trail, right?
Yeah.
And last year he put out a tweet saying, "Oh, I'm so excited. Tomorrow I start work for the company that made Whale Trail."
Oh,
and it's like,
okay.
But they were just trying to say he was a client who had paid them to make the app.
Right.
Like trying to sort of distance themselves from him as if, "Oh, sorry, we were just doing some third-party work." But he's obviously like quite good friends of theirs, and the trailers are filmed in his studio. He does giveaways for their games on Twitter all the time. So, Touch Arcade started sort of badgering away at the story, and then various other people on Twitter started sort of badgering away at it. And this poor PR guy was admittedly he was getting a lot of stick for what his company...
Getting bombarded from all different corners.
Yeah, but every time his reasoning was, "Well, we've got nothing to hide," and it's like, "Well, why didn't you mention that then in the first press release?" And then something else would come out, and he'd be like, "Oh yeah, we would have said that. Of course, we would have said that. We've got nothing to hide." And it's just like, well, why didn't you say it? So eventually,
so what's the upshot of the story?
The upshot of the story is the app's been pulled. This Big Brother guy seems to have said nothing at all about it. And I think they're just hoping they can put their fingers in their ear, their heads in the sand, and go la la la, and pretend none of it ever happened.
And the Johann Sebastian Joust people are just like, well, whatever. They're happy enough, and they've got no malice towards anyone. And
they've said they're happy with it, but they're also happy that it's not for sale anymore as well.
Yeah. Well, which is actually kind of a nice way, because normally these turn out to be like, "Oh my God, we're taking you to court, massive legal battle." Blah, blah, blah. So it's actually nice that someone's actually been a bit more responsible and just gone, "No, okay, fair enough. Like, understand you guys have, had a bit of a cross wires or whatever. Let's not make a big deal out of it." It's kind of nice and refreshing to see that for once.
Definitely. It brings to mind the larger thing, especially on the App Store, of there are clones galore, aren't there?
Yeah.
Do you think that's going to become an ever-increasing problem over time, or?
Yeah, I think it's one that's going to... There will be one that is so blatant that...
audacious, yeah.
Yeah, so audacious that it will cause a massive problem, and then there'll probably have to be some kind of big shake-up. But, I can't see what it's going to be yet, but I think, that's going to be... it's going to be interesting when that happens, that when someone just goes, "Right, fuck it, I'm going to be the one to, put my foot down over this." It's going to be really interesting. Interesting.
Especially to see which one it is and which developer does it. And
yeah, exactly. And
I'm guessing it's going to be what's Ubisoft's brother's company?
Is it not Gameloft, is it?
Yeah, it's Gameloft. That's the one.
Right, yeah.
I can see it being one of their games, but They seem to tread very close. I'm sure they've got such good lawyers that they tread ever so carefully.
Yeah. They're dancing across that line like a tightrope walker.
Yeah, Jace, you love your iPhone games, don't you?
I love my iPhone games very much, mate. I've got probably far too many iOS games, in fact.
Do you end up ever having to delete them just to make room for more?
Yeah, I do. I'm due a purge at the moment. I think I've got 600 on my iPad and probably 250 on my phone, so I need a purge.
What would be, I know I'm putting you on the spot here, but what would be, say, your top 3 recommendations at the moment for people looking for an iPhone game?
Top 3 games, well, I have to give my top shout to, and this will annoy Mr. Imagine Willie, you know, my top shout is going to be Magnetic Billiards, made by the Pickford brothers, who made games such as Plock and Wet Tricks and stuff like that in the past. So, yeah, Magnetic Billiards, it does help that I'm now 4th in the world on it.
I was going to say, you're incredibly brilliant at it. I keep seeing on like the Pickford brothers, like, you know, putting out on Twitter, like, oh, Jay Stokes has done this, Jay Stokes has broken this record, da-da-da-da, and it's like, fucking hell, mate, you're fucking brilliant.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Other than that, I think, because of Dan, really, I've got into disc driving. We've been having a few races on there with Dan.
Yeah. They're getting ever so tight now as well. We've had some real close finishes in the past week or so.
Yeah, you've shown me a couple of your crazy jumps and things, and I'm kind of getting on that. And other than that, what else have I got? Basically, anything with the name Reiner Knizia in it. I don't know if you've seen any of his strategy games.
Yeah, they're because he makes analog versions as well, doesn't he?
Yes,
it's like actual hard copy.
Yeah, so he's like the king of strategy games for me.
So what out of all of them, which is the one that you would recommend as like being the one to get for like sort of novices to get into?
There's one that's recently come out, which is Reiner Knizia's City of Secrets Pipes, which I'm playing at the moment. It's a bit like the old pipe joining games where you get the flow of water and stuff like that. That's it, Pipe Mania, but it's on a different kind of take on it. You have to join all the pipes together and stuff, and I can't really explain it, but it's got all the strategy things that Reiner Knizia throws in there, and he is the best.
Oh. So has he made that City of Secrets? That's actually a sort of point and click game, isn't it? On the
I think these are little spin-off games as pipes, and I think there's another couple coming out as well. So
it's nice that he's been sort of picked up by a larger studio to do work for them as well. Then
that's it.
That's cool, man.
Oh, very good. Yeah. Cheers for that.
No worries, mate.
Right, so is that the end up to news?
I think it is. Yeah, we're done there.
Sweet.
And we've had an email, haven't we?
Yes, mate.
Now, last week we spoke about Dorkapalooza that we both went up in Glasgow, and we had a lovely email from Sassy on the Most Popular Girls on the Internet.
Yes.
Just saying, like, thanks for sort of mentioning it on the show, and thanks for being there, that kind of thing. But she said, why did we gloss over the fact that you went back to your hotel room to get something and then never returned on the Saturday night?
Yes. I totally forgot to bring this up last week, and it is, it is probably the big part of my weekend, was the fact that, we were out, we were going to record some bits and bobs on the iPhone. Just people chatting about what's going on at the Dorkapalooza and stuff. I thought, I'm running out of battery. Do you know what? It's only 15 minutes back to the hotel. Quickly pop back, go and get me a charger, charge your phone up, job's good. And get back to the hotel, right, there's my charger, put that in my pocket, right, okay. I better just check Twitter, make sure, nothing's going on. And then, picked up Twitter on my iPad, just laid down on the bed, just for 2 minutes, just to read Twitter. Next thing I know, I've woken up in a pool of my own drool in a pillow. And it's like 2:30 in the morning. And I'm like, oh my God, I've missed everything. The whole night, that was it. I was gone. Missed the entire night. It was ridiculous. And then I've got all these like worried texts on my phone from like Dan and Sassy, like, where are you? What's going on? What's the matter? Is everything okay? And I'm like, just fell asleep because I'm an idiot. So yeah, that was it, man. Like I just whatever. I don't know what happened. I just turned into an old man and just zonked right out. It was ridiculous.
If I was your lawyer, I'd give mitigating circumstances that you got up at about the same. You've been up for about nearly 24 hours. I guess.
That's my excuse. That basically I didn't go to sleep. I didn't go to sleep on the Friday night. Just thought, I'm young. I couldn't still hack it.
Because what time was your plane?
My plane was at 6 a.m. So I had to be at Gatwick for 4 a.m. So I got, I thought, sod it, power through, don't go to sleep. I'm down with the kids. I'm still young. I can do it. I can hack it. Nah, I can't hack it. I'm too old too long in the tooth, man. I just basically stayed up, got to about like 4:30, 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Bang, I was out like a light. It was ridiculous.
Especially when the beers were under £2.
I know, it was ridiculous.
How does that happen?
It was like student prices on beer, and then all I hear is these amazing stories of the night out where like, oh, we played Cards Against Humanity and this happened and that happened, and oh, this crazy drunk Glaswegian guy, and it's like, oh,
and then the stripper turned up, and
yeah, exactly, woo. So
and then dinosaurs and ninjas. And...
I'm gutted. I was absolutely gutted. So we're going to the Gonzo Planet like summit thing that they're doing in Birmingham. So in June, July?
July, yeah, towards
July.
Yeah.
So yeah, hopefully I can stay awake for that long enough to actually enjoy the night out.
Oh, you better.
Yeah, mate. Yeah,
that's your neck of the woods, isn't it, Jace?
Yes, it is, mate. I'm hoping to come along and meet you guys there and see what's the crack is of the board games and stuff.
Excellent.
That'd be amazing, man. That'd be amazing. Yeah, like I said, so hopefully I'll stay awake and be there for the entirety this time.
Well, to be fair, Birmingham's an awful lot closer, isn't it? So
yes, mate.
Yeah, so we should be able to plough through that one.
Yay!
Yeah.
So yeah, all good. So
yeah, so thanks to Sassy for the email.
Yes, mate.
And then we had one question on Twitter about 2 weeks ago that from Jace's friend Imagine Willie. Now he's asked us, what is our biggest disappointment in gaming? Because he was talking about the Mass Effect 3 ending is where he got the idea from. And then he was thinking back about other ones, like the fact that Shenmue 3 is never going to be made, or that the ending of Final Fantasy 7 doesn't really tie anything up. And he just wondered if we had any big gaming disappointments.
Cool. Who wants to start?
No, not for me.
Okay, well,
fair enough.
I had one that I'll probably get a lot of hate from fighting game fans for this, but Street Fighter 3 was a massive disappointment for me.
Really?
Yeah, see, I loved they took so long over it, and there were so many iterations of Street Fighter 2. Like you had your Hyper Fighting, your Champion Edition, your Super Street Fighter 2, blah blah blah,
and the knockoffs as well.
Yeah, loads of third-party clones.
Wasn't there one like Rainbow Edition or something that was a knockoff?
Yeah, the bootleg copies of Street Fighter. Yeah, they were fantastic. Yeah. Where you could do like a dozen Sonic booms in midair, and like strangely, Capcom got the idea of air blocking.
Really?
From those bootlegs, yeah.
Oh, right, sweet.
So I suppose it was a bit of a two-way conduit. But yeah, Street Fighter 3, I was looking forward to it so much. And yes, it's got beautiful animation. Yes, it's technical. Yes, the parry system makes for some great YouTube videos. But it just felt like a really bland. It felt like a Street Fighter clone, in fact. Do you know what I mean? It was like.
Oh, right, okay.
So that was a big one that sort of stands out in mind.
Yeah, I mean, for me, the one that stands out for me is a disappointment, because I don't, like I said earlier, I don't normally get into a lot of hype before the games to sort of build myself up for stuff.
Yeah.
I kind of like, on the release date, I check out what's coming out and kind of, and then take it from there and actually purchase the game and make a decision based on the actual game I'm playing. But the one for me was BioShock 2, because I think I loved BioShock so much, and I just got so into it, and it was very much actually like Metal Gear Solid, where I just invested myself into that world. That by the time I got to BioShock 2, it didn't feel the same. There was something that had changed, something that was missing, and it didn't feel quite as authored as the first one. And like, obviously I know that now because it was a completely different team and it wasn't Ken Levine and blah 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 blah. But it was one of those games where I was all the time playing through it. I was just like, oh, this just feels really off, and it just doesn't feel right. And I really wanted it to be like the next installment of this amazing game that I'd like kind of got right into. And then it was just like, you always expect the sequel to be bigger and badder and better than the next one, than the previous one. And it just really let me down. It was
almost more like a DLC expansion, wasn't it? It was just like,
like
back to Rapture again, but with a slightly worse story. And
yeah, I was just really deflated after playing it. And it is a good game. It's a very good game, but just didn't have that magic that I was really I don't know why. Looking back on it, I shouldn't really have expected it to, But yeah, it was just I was expecting it to be magical, and it wasn't, and it was just like, just left me wanting more, and it was a shame.
I'm not going to be the first to say it, but it could well have been the game that we wanted if they hadn't bothered to put multiplayer in. Like, that must have taken up so much of the development time that maybe needn't have been done.
Yeah, sometimes I don't like that anyway. I don't like that idea of kind of tacking on a multiplayer just for the sake of it. I mean, sometimes it works, like with Assassin's Creed Brotherhood. That is an amazing, like, you know, everyone thought, oh, that's going to be attacked on multiplayer. You know, it smacks of it. And then it is just so brilliantly game changing. You know, it's just like out of this world. So sometimes it does work. But I just think sometimes the main franchise, the main series or whatever, you know, doesn't warrant multiplayer sometimes. And sometimes it's shoehorned in and just not good, not wanted, not needed.
The thing is, no one's going to be playing it after about a fortnight anyway. So you spent 2 years of development building it in.
Well, it's like Uncharted.
Yeah.
You know, who's playing Uncharted 2 multiplayer anymore? Or Uncharted 3 multiplayer anymore? No one's doing it. You know, it's just like, why put it in there?
Although on the flip side, what was that game? Was it Shadow something?
Shadowrun?
Shadow.
Is that the one that came out on 360 that was
PC and
Xbox. PC and it came out on those, but it was multiplayer only. Which now you see dirt cheap everywhere because no one's playing it. Like, there would be no point in buying it because there's no single player. There's nothing you can do with that game. It's just a dead disc. So
yeah, not
so
good,
who's to know?
Yeah, no.
One for me then. Talking about disappointments was a big one for me was Final Fantasy 13, which I'm sure disappointed a lot of people.
Yeah, me.
I got it day one because I've always been a big Final Fantasy fan, and then day one put it in and it looked amazing, fantastic graphics as you'd expect. And you played through, and it was linear, and it remained linear, and then there were some more linear bits. Bizarrely, I only played it until the bit where you get a slightly more open world.
Yeah.
Which you fight the big tortoises or whatever they are. I got to that part and stopped playing it because I was just so bored. I think by that point of going through a linear Final Fantasy game, I really hesitated to get the next one now after that.
I spoke to someone who, very similar to yourself, where they said once they got to the end of the linear bit that they really didn't like, when it opened out into what they wanted, they kind of got afraid that, oh shit, now I can do whatever I want. So just sort of gave up on it.
Yes.
So yeah, it's bizarre. Why did they have that corridor? We'll never know. It's been asked a dozen times, but
well, yeah, it's probably more of a story device than anything, isn't it? Like just to propel the story along a bit quicker.
Possibly, and to save a bit of money, I think, seeing as it was the first one developed for the next gen consoles. So
that's a good point.
They'd already said that they couldn't ever afford to make Final Fantasy 7, 8, or 9 on this generation's machines just because of the sheer amount of work involved in getting the textures up to scale and that kind of
getting the assets together and stuff.
Yeah. Now, it's a game that I've mentioned a million times, but it came out by Square Enix at the same time as Final Fantasy 13, man. And Jace, if you haven't played Nier, give it a go, really.
It's on my list. It's after seeing your status actually saying it was the game of the year. It's on my list, mate, and it'll probably end up on my pile of shame.
I love your evangelising of it, man. It's hilarious. It's like every time you speak to anyone, it's like, no, get near, please, get near. It's like you're just walking up. Just imagine you like in the high street walking up to like old ladies. Have you got Nier?
I don't even do that. I just buy copies. Now it's a $5 in Blockbuster. I just buy 4 or 5 of them, just slip them in old ladies' shopping bags.
Like you're like the Nier, like Santa.
The Nier evangelist.
Like,
yeah,
exactly. Just posting it through people's letterboxes in the vain hope that they'll play it.
Yeah, it's just, a lot of people that I've spoken to that were disappointed in Final Fantasy 13 have said, man, that's the game that I wish Final Fantasy 13 had have been. So, that's how it felt for me at the time. And, so that's why I'm like evangelizing about it forever onwards.
That's cool. I'll put that up, definitely.
Yeah, do that.
Sweet. Right, so is that all the emails is?
It is, and if you've got any yourself, do send them to us. Email at theaibots.com, or you can send us a question on Twitter at theaibots, or as usual, as we say, smoke signals,
the
wave your bum in the air, peacock feathers, that kind of thing.
Exactly.
Or just craft something on Minecraft and send us a message.
Yeah,
exactly.
Good thinking, Batman.
Right, so Jace, thank you so much for coming on, man. That was really kind of you.
Yeah, thanks, lads. Thanks for having me.
And thanks for asking all those questions as well. So
Yeah, exactly. You've given us literally weeks worth of stuff that we haven't had to bother thinking about. It's been brilliant.
That's good, mate. I'll get the thinking back on.
Yeah, exactly.
Just before we go, I heard that you and Madge and Willie have been thinking about starting a podcast yourself. Would that be true?
Yeah, we've been talking about it for a while. So watch this space, and the console ninjas might be coming towards you soon.
Ooh, we'll keep our eyes open. In that case, we'll see you next week.
Let's get out of here.
Good stuff. Take care. Bye-bye.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.